The galaxy was wide, full of countless civilizations that stretched across stars and time. Among them, humans were considered one of the lesser races. They were seen as curious and energetic, but not powerful. Many races traded with them, studied with them, and sometimes even mocked them for their short lifespans and restless ambition. Humans had colonies on many worlds, but none stood as mighty empires. To most of the galaxy, they were peaceful explorers and builders who rarely took part in large conflicts. But what the galaxy did not know was that humanity had changed after the last Great War. 2 centuries ago, a brutal invasion had come from beyond the galactic rim. It was led by a species known as the Dravans. They had burned through human colonies, destroyed fleets, and forced Earth itself to the edge of ruin. Humanity had survived only through desperate unity. Every colony, every ship, and every person had fought with everything they had. The Dravans were finally pushed back, but at a cost so great that the scars of that war still marked Earth's soil in the minds of its people. When peace returned, humans made a promise to themselves. They would never again wait for help from others. They would never again be unprepared. In the shadows of their rebuilding, they began something that no alien race would ever imagine possible. It was called Project Haven. At first, Project Haven was known only to a few leaders. The work began deep in the uncharted sectors of the galaxy, near a dying red star surrounded by thick clouds of cosmic dust. The star's light was weak, and the surrounding nebula blocked nearly all signals. It was the perfect place to hide. There, humans built enormous shipyards in silence. Thousands of automated drones and hidden stations worked day and night for decades. Even human colonies thought those sectors were abandoned. One of the first people to serve in Project Haven was a young engineer named Lauren. He had once worked on planetary reactors before being recruited by the secret division of the Human Council. When he first arrived, he could hardly believe what he saw. Massive rings of metal floated in space, connected by energy tethers. Around them, unfinished hulls hung like sleeping giants. Lauren realized that humanity was not building ordinary warships. They were building something much greater, something that defied reason. Each structure was meant to become a warship the size of a small planet. It would carry entire fleets within, equipped with weapons so powerful that they could alter the balance of the galaxy. These ships were not only engines of war, they were also arcs of survival. Inside their cores were cities, farms, and reactors that could sustain human life for centuries if the surface of any world was lost. Humanity had decided that if their worlds ever fell, they would still have these ships. They would be the final shield of their kind. Years passed and work continued in silence. The few who knew about the project called it the Secret Sun. Everything was hidden behind quantum distortions and false energy readings. To any scanning ship, the region appeared as empty space with a few dead asteroids. Human fleets patrolled nearby routes, pretending to be guarding mining colonies. None of the alien observers ever suspected what truly lay behind those empty coordinates. Outside the hidden system, life in the galaxy went on as usual. The Galactic Union, a council made of hundreds of alien civilizations, debated trade and security. Many of them viewed humans as useful partners, but not dangerous. They laughed when humans claimed to be advancing their deep space technology. In the Union archives, humanity's power ranking was placed near the bottom of the chart. Their fleets were listed as defensive. Their military potential was noted as low. Every report confirmed that humans lacked the resources for large-scale warship construction. Far from those reports, inside the hidden shipyards, the reality was very different. The first hull, known only as Core Alpha, reached its final stage. It stretched across thousands of kilometers, covered in thick armor made from neutron-forged alloy. Its engines were so large that an entire fleet could fly through them. Energy from dark matter reactors powered its core. The ship was designed to create its own gravity, weather, and atmosphere. Every level of its interior held factories, command centers, and training zones. Around it, other frames began to take shape. Engineers whispered new names: Titan 1, Titan 2, and Titan 3. Together, they would become humanity's ultimate guardians. Lauren worked in the central reactor bay. He was not a soldier or a commander, but he understood what these ships meant. He had lost his home colony during the Dravan invasion. He had seen what helplessness looked like. Every time he adjusted a reactor line or monitored the fusion pulse, he felt pride mixed with sorrow. Humanity's fear had become its greatest strength. The more the galaxy ignored them, the more determined they became. There were times when small incidents threatened to expose the project. Once, an alien research probe entered the outer zone of the hidden system. It picked up unusual readings and sent data back before it was intercepted. The humans tracking it quickly redirected a decoy signal, making it appear as if the probe had malfunctioned. The Galactic Union dismissed the event as technical failure. Another time, a human politician who had learned too much tried to sell information to an alien trading guild. The council quietly removed him from power and erased all records of his existence. Nothing could be allowed to reveal the truth. Inside the shipyards, work continued without rest. Artificial suns provided light to the builders. Massive robotic arms carried hull sections, welding them together with plasma beams that glowed across the void. Supply ships came and went under false names, bringing resources from distant colonies. The workers lived inside floating habitats around the shipyards. They were told they were part of a grand project for the survival of mankind, and that one day their work would save billions. They believed it. Lauren often spent nights floating near the transparent edge of his habitat, staring at the stars. He thought about how the galaxy looked peaceful from afar but hid endless dangers. Empires rose and fell. Treaties broke. Races fought over minerals, planets, and pride. Humanity had always been seen as the younger race among them. But now they were about to change everything. He wondered if the galaxy was ready for what was coming. Decades passed in this secret world. Generations of engineers, scientists, and builders were born and raised inside Project Haven. Children learned from their parents, growing up under artificial skies, never knowing the open fields of Earth. To them, the Titans were home. They became experts in zero-gravity construction, energy manipulation, and starship design. Each generation improved upon the work of the last. Slowly, the first Titan reached completion. When the final core reactor came online, the entire system lit up with energy. The sensors across every level glowed blue. The ship's surface shimmered as the armor plates aligned. Artificial gravity fields stabilized, creating a sense of steady ground within the massive interior. The Titan I was alive. Lauren stood with thousands of engineers as they watched the energy readings climb. Cheers filled the communication channels. After so many years of silence, the first of humanity's planet-sized warships was ready to awaken. Back on Earth, only a handful of leaders knew the truth. They gathered in the underground chamber of the Human Council. The old Earth president looked at the report from Project Haven with calm eyes. "It is done," he said, "but we must keep them hidden until the time comes." The council agreed. They knew that once the galaxy learned of these ships, everything would change. The balance of power would shift, and every empire would turn its eyes toward Earth. Humanity was not yet ready for that storm. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, an alien scout vessel from the Varnic Dominion was exploring near the uncharted sectors. The crew detected faint gravitational waves. Their captain ordered the ship to investigate. As they drew closer, the readings grew stronger. Then, through the dense cosmic dust, they caught sight of something enormous. It was larger than anything they had ever seen. They tried to send a signal back to their command, but before it could be transmitted, their sensors overloaded. The ship's systems crashed, and within moments it vanished from all known records. The Galactic Union received a short fragment of their last transmission. It contained a single line: "We have seen a world of metal. It moves." The Union dismissed it as a sensor error. No one wanted to believe that any race could create a planet-sized warship. The report was archived and forgotten. But among the secret Human Council, that message confirmed one thing: their shield was working. Their secret remained safe. Lauren stood at the observation deck of Titan I and looked at the stars beyond the nebula. He knew that one day the galaxy would see the truth. And when that day came, humanity would no longer be ignored. They would stand tall among the stars, not as victims or wanderers, but as the builders of worlds and the guardians of their kind. The void around him was silent, yet it carried the promise of a storm that would one day shake the galaxy to its core. The hidden system that sheltered Project Haven had been quiet for years. Around its dying red star floated structures of unimaginable size. 3 of them stood complete now, each glowing faintly under the artificial suns that surrounded them. They were the pride of humankind, the result of 2 centuries of work done in silence. Each was called a Titan. They were not ordinary ships. They were planets forged from steel and light. Inside Titan I, thousands of engineers worked in harmony. The air was filled with the low hum of reactors and the echo of boots against metallic floors. Lauren, now older and carrying the calm confidence of years, walked through one of the main corridors that led to the central core. He could feel the artificial gravity shift slightly under his feet as the systems ran final checks. Titan 1 was ready for awakening. The other two Titans, still under testing, were close to completion. Around them floated human fleets built for escort duty. They were smaller in size but large enough to hold thousands of soldiers. Together, they formed the largest concentration of human power ever gathered in one place. Lauren entered the reactor control chamber. Transparent panels surrounded the area, showing the bright glow of the energy conduits that fed power through the ship's heart. The core pulsed like a beating heart, each surge of energy spreading across the Titan's systems. Lauren stood beside Chief Operator Suna, a quiet woman known for her precision. She nodded to him and said, "All systems stable. The Council has approved full activation." Lauren felt a shiver run down his spine. This was the moment he had worked for his entire life. The Titans were about to awaken. Outside, massive energy panels began to unfold like the petals of a flower. The red stars' dim light reflected off their surfaces, creating a faint golden glow across the ship's armor. The engines came alive with deep rumbling sounds that echoed through space. The activation signal spread from Titan 1 to Titan 2 and Titan 3. For the first time, all three giants awakened together. Inside the command bridge, Admiral Rana stood before a large holographic projection, showing the Titans and their surrounding fleets. She was a respected leader who had served through several wars. Her expression was calm but firm. She looked at the projection and spoke with steady authority. "Begin system link-up. Bring the Titans to full operational readiness." Officers around her moved swiftly, their voices clear and focused. One called out, "Power distribution stable. Weapon arrays charging at 20%. Another replied, "Shields synchronized. Quantum distortion active. We are invisible beyond the nebula perimeter." Admiral Rana turned to her second officer, a tall man named Varen. "How are the communication relays?" she asked. "Fully operational," he replied. "We can reach Earth in seconds through the entanglement network." Rana nodded. "Good. Once the Council confirms our readiness, we proceed with the final test. The Titans must prove that they can move as one." The human council back on Earth watched everything through secure transmission. Their faces showed pride and caution. They knew what this moment meant. For generations, humans had lived under the shadow of stronger empires, but now they had built something that could not be matched. Lauren watched from the engineering deck as the ship began its first maneuvers. The entire Titan moved forward, its engines lighting up the darkness. Despite its immense size, the movement was smooth, almost graceful. The artificial gravity fields kept everything stable inside. Every deck vibrated slightly like the heartbeat of a living world. The builders who had worked here for decades gathered around observation windows to witness the first flight of the Titans. Some cheered, others stood in silence, overwhelmed by what they had achieved. As the ships moved out of the nebula's inner layer, their sensors picked up faint signals from beyond. Lauren looked at the readings and frowned. "Unidentified activity near the outer field," he said. Suna checked her monitors. "Could be a mining probe," she replied. "But it is sending encrypted signals." Admiral Rana received the report on the bridge. She studied the readings carefully. The signature did not match any human code. It was alien. A patrol from the Varnic Dominion had entered the area. The same Dominion that had lost a scout ship decades ago. They had come again, drawn by curiosity or suspicion. "Activate visual dampeners," Rana ordered. "No one outside this system can know what we have built. Prepare defensive drones, but hold fire." Tiny ships launched from the sides of Titan 1, spreading around the nebula. Their task was simple: to confuse sensors and redirect any scanning beams. The alien ships moved closer, unaware of what they were approaching. They thought they had discovered a hidden human base, not a planet-sized warship. Lauren monitored the readings as the alien ships came within range. He whispered, "If they come any closer, they will see us." Suna looked uneasy. "Then we will have to silence them," she said. Admiral Rana stood still, thinking carefully. She did not want to reveal the Titans before the right time. But if the aliens sent word back to their leaders, the entire galaxy would know. She looked at her officers and gave the order. "Prepare the pulse cannon. One shot, no trace." The energy gathered deep within the Titan's core. The pulse cannon was not meant to destroy fleets. It was designed to erase anything within its range without leaving a clear signature. A beam of bright light flashed across the void. The alien ships vanished instantly, leaving behind only scattered energy fragments. Rana exhaled slowly. No one must know. Not yet, she said quietly. The test continued. The Titans began synchronized movement. Their engines aligned perfectly and their weapons rotated in coordination. The bridge monitors showed readings beyond expectations. Titan 2 and Titan 3 followed every signal from Titan 1 as if they shared the same mind. The synchronization network worked flawlessly. Humanity had achieved unity not only among people, but also among their greatest creations. Hours later, when the tests ended, the Titans returned to their original positions inside the nebula. The engineers and crew celebrated quietly. Lauren sat with Suna in the cafeteria, drinking recycled water that tasted slightly metallic. He smiled for the first time in weeks. "We did it," he said. "They are alive." Suna nodded, her eyes filled with both pride and fear. "Alive and powerful," she said. "Now the question is, what will we do with them?" Back on Earth, the Human Council debated the same question. Some members wanted to reveal the Titans to the galaxy to secure respect and alliances. Others believed secrecy was the only protection. The president, an old man named Aaron, spoke last. His voice was calm but carried authority. "We built these Titans because we were nearly destroyed once," he said. "We will not start another war, but if anyone comes to take what is ours, they will face the strength of our unity." The council agreed. The Titans would remain hidden until they were needed. Months passed, and the Titans stood silent once again like mountains in the dark. But far away, whispers began to spread. Traders spoke of strange energy readings near the edge of the galaxy. A few alien scientists claimed to have detected unnatural gravity waves. The Galactic Union ignored these reports, thinking them rumors. Yet some leaders began to wonder if humans were hiding something. Inside Titan 1, Lauren continued his work. He had become chief engineer, responsible for maintaining the dark matter cores. He often looked through the observation panels, remembering the day he first saw the incomplete hulls floating in the void. Now they were finished, stronger than anything in the galaxy. But deep inside he felt uneasy. He knew that no secret could stay hidden forever. One night, as he walked through the maintenance corridor, he passed by a window showing the vastness of space. The stars looked peaceful, distant, and unchanging. He wondered if the galaxy understood what was coming. Humanity had built not just ships but symbols of their will to survive. If the universe ever turned against them again, the Titans would rise. In the command bridge, Admiral Rana stood alone, watching the holographic display of the three Titans. Her hand rested on the control table. She thought about the wars she had fought, the colonies that had burned, and the endless arrogance of alien powers that once saw humans as weak. Now the balance had shifted. Humanity had become something far greater than anyone expected. She turned toward the window and looked into the black ocean of space. "Sleep for now," she whispered. "Your time will come." The Titans floated in silence, their lights dimmed, their reactors steady. They were the hidden giants of humankind, waiting for the moment when the stars would once again test their strength. The galaxy remained unaware, still laughing at the idea that humans could build something beyond their reach. But the truth was already alive, breathing quietly among the stars, preparing for the day when the Titans would rise again, and the galaxy would finally understand what humanity had become. The silence of the hidden nebula had lasted for many years. The Titans rested there like sleeping mountains, their surfaces dark and calm. Humanity had kept its secret well, but peace across the galaxy never lasted long. Far from Earth, the Orion Reach became the center of growing tension. The region was rich in resources, and many alien empires wanted to control it. The Galactic Union tried to maintain peace, but rival powers ignored their orders. Among those powers was the Valak Dominion, an empire known for its cruelty and hunger for expansion. The Valak had long believed that humans were weak and unworthy of holding territory in Orion Reach. They sent warnings to Earth, demanding control of human mining colonies near the border. When the humans refused, the Dominion decided to act. They gathered a massive fleet, the largest seen in a century, and sent it toward human space. Back on Earth, the Human Council received the news with heavy hearts. Reports showed hundreds of alien warships crossing into neutral zones. The Council gathered in the underground chamber beneath the old capital. Admiral Rana stood before them, her uniform marked with the crest of the Titan fleet. The president, Aaron, looked at her with steady eyes. "It has begun," he said. "They think we will bow. They still do not understand who we are," Rana nodded. "We have tried peace," she said. "Now we must show them why humanity will never be conquered again." The council approved her command. She would lead the defense of Orion Reach. The Titans would awaken once more, not for a test, but for war. In the hidden system, alarms echoed through the corridors. Engineers, pilots, and soldiers rushed to their stations. The 3 Titans, 1, 2, and 3, came alive under bright artificial suns. Energy surged through their cores and shields flickered into shape. Lauren stood in the main reactor bay of Titan 1, his eyes fixed on the power readings. "Engines at full charge," he reported. "All systems stable." Admiral Rana stood on the command bridge, surrounded by her officers. She gave the order with calm authority. "Activate void gates. Destination, Orion Reach." At once, the massive ships turned toward the void gate network. Rings of blue light formed in space, swirling like storm clouds. The Titans entered the gates, their massive forms vanishing from the hidden system. Moments later, they appeared at the edge of Orion Reach. The sight was breathtaking. Before them stretched the enemy fleet, countless ships arranged in tight formation. The Valak fleet covered the stars, their hulls reflecting silver light. They were confident, certain that humans had no chance. Inside the Valak flagship, Lord Karen watched the human colonies on the distant planets. His voice was cold and filled with pride. "Send the message," he said. "Surrender your worlds and we will spare your people." His officers transmitted the signal. It reached every human ship and colony in the sector. Admiral Rana listened to it from her bridge. She gave a short smile. "No response," she said to her officers. "We will answer in another way." Then the Titans moved forward. The space around them shook as their engines roared. From the perspective of the Valak fleet, it looked like 3 planets were coming alive. Their sensors began to fail. Their captains shouted orders, thinking their systems were breaking. But the truth was far more terrifying. The Titans were emitting waves of interference, blinding the enemy's technology. Within minutes, the first shots were fired. The Valak opened fire with plasma cannons and torpedoes. Hundreds of bright streaks cut through space, heading toward the Titans. The impacts struck Titan 1's shields and scattered harmlessly like sparks against glass. Lauren watched the readings and smiled faintly. "Shields holding at 99%, he said. Admiral Rana raised her hand. "Return fire," she ordered. The first blast came from Titan 1's primary weapon. A beam of pure energy lanced across the void, hitting a Valak battleship and tearing it apart instantly. The explosion lit the battlefield. The entire Valak fleet paused for a moment, stunned by the sight. Then Titan 2 and Titan 3 joined the attack. Their weapons fired in perfect synchronization. Every shot found a target. Massive cruisers vanished in bursts of light. Smaller ships tried to flee, but the gravity waves from the Titans pulled them off course. Inside Titan 1, the vibration of the cannons could be felt across every deck. The noise was like thunder, rolling through endless corridors. Yet the crew remained calm. They had trained for this moment. They knew they were fighting not just for victory, but for the survival of their kind. The Valak tried to reorganize. Lord Karen shouted orders from his flagship. "Focus all fire on the lead ship," he commanded. Thousands of weapons turned toward Titan 1 and fired at once. The combined energy stormed against the shields, lighting them in waves of blue fire. Lauren's screens flashed red as power levels dropped. "Reactor stress rising," Suna said from the engineering console. "If this continues, we may lose stability." Lauren's hands moved quickly across the controls. "Redirect auxiliary power from weapon systems to shields," he said. The ship's hum deepened as the energy shifted. Titan 1 endured the storm and emerged from it unbroken. Admiral Rana saw the enemy's formation weakening. She raised her voice. "Deploy fighter wings," she said. From the sides of the Titans, thousands of smaller ships emerged. Human pilots flew with precision and courage, weaving through enemy lines and striking at weak points. Their attacks confused the Valak commanders, who could no longer coordinate. One by one, the Valak ships began to fall. The Titans advanced slowly, each step measured and unstoppable. The battlefield turned into a storm of light and debris. The Valak fleet that had once seemed so mighty was now trapped between 3 moving worlds of fire. Lord Karen realized the truth too late. His pride turned to fear. "Retreat," he shouted. Pull back now. But his words came too late. Titan III's main cannon locked onto his flagship. A single shot ended the command of the Valak Dominion. The explosion sent waves of radiation across the sector. The surviving ships scattered, fleeing in all directions. When the firing finally stopped, silence returned to the Orion Reach. The stars shone through the fading smoke of battle. The Titans floated among the wreckage, their armor still glowing from the heat of combat. Humanity had won. Admiral Rana stood on the bridge looking at the field before her. "Status report," she said. "Minimal damage," replied Varen. "No critical losses." "Enemy forces?" "Destroyed or retreating." Rana gave a short nod. "Send a message to Earth. Orion Reach is secure." The transmission reached the Human Council within minutes. The members sat in silence as they watched the footage of the battle. The president rose to his feet and spoke softly. "The galaxy will know," he said. "They will see what we have built," and indeed the galaxy did. The battle was witnessed by traders and distant observation posts. The news spread faster than light through every known communication channel. The once ignored humans had destroyed an entire empire's fleet with only 3 ships. The Galactic Union met in emergency session, trying to understand what had happened. Some leaders refused to believe the reports. Others feared the truth. In the hidden chambers of the Union, arguments broke out. The elders of the Zern Alliance shouted that humans were a danger to galactic balance. The members of the Arath Confederacy demanded peace talks before the situation grew worse. Across the galaxy, fleets began to move, spies began to listen, and alliances began to change. Humanity had shaken the order of the stars. Back aboard Titan I, the crew began repairs. Lauren walked through the quiet corridors. The battle had left marks on the outer hull, but the ship still stood strong. He looked through a viewing window and saw pieces of broken enemy ships drifting by like dark ghosts. Suna stood beside him. "Do you think they will come again?" she asked. Lauren nodded slowly. "Yes," he said. "They will come, and others with them. The galaxy cannot ignore this now, but we are ready." In the command chamber, Admiral Rana listened to the quiet hum of the ship. She felt no joy in destruction, only a sense of duty. She opened a private channel to Earth and spoke to the Council. "We fought because we had to," she said. "But if the galaxy seeks to challenge us again, they must understand that humanity will never kneel. We built the Titans not to rule but to survive." Her words were recorded and shared across human colonies. They became a message of unity and strength. People who once felt small among the stars now felt pride in being human. They knew that their kind had created something unmatched in the history of the galaxy. As the Titans returned to their hidden base, the stars seemed to watch in silence. The Battle of Orion Reach had ended, but its echo would last for generations. The galaxy had seen what humans could do, and nothing would ever be the same again. The Titans rested once more, waiting for the next challenge. Humanity had risen from weakness to strength, from silence to thunder, and though peace might return for a time, everyone knew it would not last. Somewhere, among the countless empires, plans were already forming. The galaxy would not forget the day the Titans awoke. The Battle of Orion Reach changed everything. Before that day, most of the galaxy had believed that humans were only traders and settlers who preferred peace over power. After that battle, no one thought so anymore. The destruction of the Valak Dominion fleet by only 3 human warships sent shock through every known civilization. It was the first time in history that a minor species had defeated one of the great empires so completely. Across the galaxy, governments gathered in secret meetings. In shining halls, under oceans, on moons, and inside gas giant stations, leaders argued and feared what humanity had revealed. The recordings of the battle spread faster than any official could stop them. Merchant ships had caught glimpses of the massive human titans moving through the void like living worlds. The scale of the destruction was beyond imagination. One blast from their weapons had erased ships that entire empires had spent centuries building. The Galactic Union called for an emergency session. All member species were ordered to attend. In the great circular hall of the Union capital, representatives filled the seats. Some came in person, while others appeared through holograms. Their faces showed disbelief and anger. At the center of the hall, the council speaker, a tall being with crystal skin, raised its voice. "We are gathered to discuss the threat that now stands among us. The human race has built weapons beyond reason. The peace of the galaxy is in danger." A murmur spread through the hall. The delegate of the Zern Alliance struck the table with his metallic hand. I warned you all, he shouted. Humans were never to be trusted. They act humble, but now we see their true nature. They were hiding these monsters while pretending to be weak. Others disagreed. The representative of the gentle Chiral species spoke softly. We must not judge them so quickly. The humans did not attack first. The Valak brought war to their borders. They defended themselves. But fear spread faster than reason. Many species that had once traded with humans began recalling their ambassadors. Markets closed. Cargo ships were turned away from alien ports. Old alliances started to break. The galaxy was falling into suspicion and panic. Back on Earth, the Human Council watched all of this unfold through secure transmissions. President Aaron sat at the head of the table, reading reports from colonies and diplomats. They fear us, he said quietly. They see what we have built, and they cannot understand it. Admiral Rana stood beside him, calm and focused as always. Fear is better than pity, she said. For centuries they saw us as small. Now they will think twice before raising their weapons against us. The council debated what to do next. Some wanted to send ambassadors to every major empire to show that humanity had no wish to conquer. Others argued that revealing more information would only make them appear weak again. In the end, the council agreed on a simple message to the entire galaxy. It was sent through the Union Communication Network. The message said, "Humanity desires peace. We built the Titans not for domination but for survival. We will never strike first, but if any power seeks to harm us, the Titans will rise again. We stand ready to defend our worlds and all who seek peace." The message was short but powerful. It reached every world, every spaceport, every listening station. Some species respected it. Others feared it even more. On distant planets, citizens gathered around public screens watching the footage of the Titans drifting through space like metal planets. Children pointed at the images and asked if they were real. Merchants whispered that humans now ruled the stars in silence. Far from Earth, inside Titan 1, Lauren and his team continued their maintenance work. The battle at Orion Reach had left scars on the outer hull, but the ship still stood strong. From his post in the reactor chamber, Lauren could hear the soft hum of the engines. He found comfort in that sound. It reminded him that humanity's greatest creation was alive and watching. Suna joined him during a break. She carried a datapad showing reports from different sectors. "You should see this," she said. "Some of our trade partners are refusing to send supplies. They think we will use them to build more Titans." Lauren sighed. "We built these ships to protect ourselves, not to frighten the galaxy," he said. Suna nodded. "Fear is a strange thing. It makes people see danger even when none exists." Despite the growing isolation, humanity remained calm. The Council ordered all Titans to hold position in neutral space, near the borders but not inside any empire's territory. Their presence was a reminder to all who might think of attacking again. Admiral Rana visited the command decks regularly, speaking with officers and crew, ensuring that discipline and purpose remained strong. Meanwhile, spies and agents from other civilizations tried to uncover the truth behind the Titans. Some believed humans had found ancient technology. Others thought they had made secret deals with hidden powers. None of them could find any proof. Every attempt to infiltrate human systems failed. The human security forces had become experts at deception. Their intelligence network was second only to the Titans themselves. Among the alien powers, opinions began to divide. The Varnic Dominion, once a rival, had lost most of its fleets. Their surviving leaders feared complete destruction if they ever angered the humans again. The Arath Confederacy, however, saw opportunity. Their leaders believed that if they could form an alliance with Earth, they could gain protection against stronger enemies. They sent envoys offering trade, information, and friendship. The first new treaty signed after Orion Reach was between Earth and Arath. It shocked the rest of the galaxy. For the first time, a major alien power had willingly placed itself under human protection. The Arath ambassador spoke before the Galactic Union, saying, "We have seen the fire of the Titans, and we know it is guided by reason. The humans do not seek to destroy. They seek balance. We choose to stand with them." That statement calmed some fears but enraged others. The Zern Alliance began to build its own secret weapons, trying to match human strength. Their scientists worked day and night, studying captured debris from the Orion battlefield. They tried to copy the human reactor design but failed. The materials used by humans were unlike anything they could create. The technology remained a mystery. While the galaxy argued and built new weapons, humanity quietly advanced even further. Inside Titan 1, Lauren led a new research division focused on improving energy efficiency. Titan 2 was modified to carry rescue modules that could evacuate entire cities if needed. Titan 3 was equipped with advanced communication systems, able to reach any world instantly through quantum signals. The Titans were becoming not only weapons but centers of science and unity. Admiral Rana often looked out from the command bridge and thought about the path humanity had taken. She remembered the days when humans begged other species for help during the Draven War. No one had come then. They had been left alone to die. But now the same galaxy that had ignored their suffering bowed in respect or fear. She took no pride in that fear. What she felt was duty. Back on Earth, life continued. People worked, children learned, and cities glowed under clean skies. Yet everyone knew that somewhere out there their protectors drifted silently among the stars. Artists painted the Titans. Songs were written about them. They became symbols of human strength and unity. For the first time in centuries, humanity no longer looked upward with fear, but with confidence. Still, there were warnings. From deep space came strange signals that did not match any known civilization. Faint rhythmic pulses echoed from beyond the galactic rim. Some scientists thought it was natural radiation. Others feared it was something else. Lauren studied those signals with growing concern. They seemed similar to old data from the Draven invasion, but stronger and more organized. He brought the information to Admiral Rana. "These readings are not random," he said. "Something is moving out there. Something big." Rana studied the data carefully. The pulses were far away, but their patterns suggested artificial origin. She said, "Keep this between us for now. We will watch and wait. If the galaxy ever turns its eyes toward Earth again, they will not find us sleeping." Rumors of the mysterious signals began to spread among other empires too. For once, even the Zern and Aeroth agreed on something. They feared the unknown more than they feared humanity. Some leaders began to think that the Titans might be the galaxy's only hope, if a new enemy came from beyond. Weeks later, President Aaron spoke to all human colonies through a live broadcast. His voice was calm and full of strength. "The galaxy watches us with doubt and fear," he said. "Let them watch. Let them see that we stand not for conquest but for survival. If peace can be kept through strength, then the Titans will be our peacekeepers." His words echoed across worlds and through space. The message reached even those who distrusted humans. It reminded everyone that the Titans were not tools of destruction but guardians of existence itself. As night fell over Earth, the stars shone brighter than ever. Somewhere far away, the three Titans floated in silence. Their lights blinked softly like distant cities in the void. Inside their hearts, reactors pulsed with the rhythm of life. Humanity stood united under their protection, ready for whatever would come next. The galaxy might fear them, respect them, or hate them, but it could no longer ignore them. And as Lauren looked out from Titan 1's viewing deck, watching the endless stretch of stars, he whispered to himself, "Let them fear if they must. Fear is better than forgetting." The Titans will watch. Humanity will endure. The galaxy had entered a new age, one where humans were no longer the weak newcomers. They were now the keepers of balance, the builders of worlds, and the silent guardians among the stars. The destruction at Orion Reach spread across the galaxy faster than light. Every empire, alliance, and independent system heard the same story. 3 human warships, each the size of a small planet, had defeated the Valak Dominion's grand fleet in a single battle. The Valak were known for their cruelty and power. They had enslaved entire species and destroyed many worlds, yet in one battle they had been crushed. The galaxy could hardly believe it. The recordings from the battle spread through every communication network. Small cargo pilots, traders, and explorers carried the data wherever they went. People gathered around screens and projectors to watch the moment when the Titans appeared from the void. They saw the enormous human ships moving with the calmness of giants, their hulls glowing with energy. They saw the flash of their main weapons, bright enough to blind sensors. They saw the Valak ships vanish in the storm of light. Every witness understood one thing: humanity was not weak anymore. In the Galactic Union headquarters, panic filled the Grand Chamber. The Union had been formed to keep peace among the many races of the galaxy. Now that peace was broken, the council speaker, a tall being with silver eyes, stood before the crowd of delegates. He raised his hands for silence and said, "We face a new power, The humans have built weapons that no one else can match. We must decide what this means for the future of the galaxy. The hall filled with noise. Delegates shouted at one another. The Zern ambassador slammed his hands on the table. "I warned this council," he cried. Humans were hiding something. They pretended to be peaceful, but all the time they were preparing for war. Another voice answered from across the room. It was the ambassador of the peaceful Chiral species. They defended their borders. The Valak attacked first. Would you have done differently if your worlds were under threat? The argument grew louder. Some demanded action against humans. Others wanted peace. The speaker finally struck the table with a hammer to bring order. We cannot make war on a species that has just destroyed an entire fleet. We must find a way to understand them. Meanwhile, far from the noise of the Union, humans were already watching the galaxy's reaction. On Earth, President Aaron met with his advisors in the council chamber. The lights of the room reflected from the polished table where screens showed messages from every colony and station. "They are afraid of us," Aaron said. "They think we will attack them next." Admiral Rana stood near the window looking out at the distant stars. "Fear is not the worst thing," she said. "It may keep them from attacking again." The room was silent for a moment. Then Aaron said, "We must show them who we are. We are not conquerors. We are survivors." After hours of debate, the Human Council agreed to send a message to the entire galaxy. It was transmitted through every major network. The message said, "Humanity does not seek war. We built the Titans to protect our home and our people. We ask for peace. But if anyone threatens us again, we will defend ourselves." The message was simple, but it carried power. Every race listened to it. Some believed the humans meant what they said. Others saw it as a warning. Across the galaxy, old alliances began to shift. Merchants canceled trade with human colonies. Governments recalled their ambassadors from Earth. Spies were sent to learn how the Titans had been built. On Titan 1, Lauren and his engineering team continued their work. The ship was still under repair after the battle. Large sections of its outer hull were being replaced. The crew worked without rest, proud of what they had achieved. Lauren often walked through the giant corridors, looking at the steel walls and humming engines. Every vibration reminded him that this ship was the greatest creation of humankind. Suna joined him one evening as they stood by a large viewing panel. Outside, the stars glowed like dust in an endless ocean. She said, "Do you think the others will ever trust us again?" Lauren shook his head slowly. "Trust is easy to lose, but maybe they will learn to respect us. That might be enough." In the following months, humanity began to face new challenges. Many trade routes were cut off. Supplies that once came from alien worlds had to be produced locally. Human engineers adapted quickly. New factories were built on the Moon, Mars, and Titan station. Within weeks, production reached full capacity. Where other species would have fallen into chaos, humans grew stronger under pressure. Reports reached Earth that the Zern Alliance was gathering fleets near the border. Their leaders claimed it was for defense, but everyone knew they feared the Titans. Some even tried to copy the design by studying the remains of Valak ships destroyed in the battle. They found fragments of human energy signatures and reactor residue, but no one could reproduce the technology. Every attempt failed. The secret of the Titans remained with humanity alone. Among the stars, not all feared humans. The Aroth Confederacy, a group of trading worlds, sent a message of friendship. They offered an alliance saying that peace under human protection was better than living in fear of others. Admiral Rana supported the idea. She met with the Aroth representative on Titan 2. Their meeting was calm and respectful. The Aroth leader said, "We saw what you did to the Valak. You could have destroyed their homeworlds, but you did not. That shows control. We trust those who can win, but choose restraint." The treaty between Earth and the Aroth was signed soon after. It became the first new alliance since the battle. It gave humanity new allies, new trade partners, and new information about the distant edges of the galaxy. For many people, it was proof that humans could hold power without becoming tyrants. Still, fear did not vanish. On many alien worlds, leaders spoke of the human problem. They warned their people that humans would one day take control of everything. Some began building weapons to match the Titans, even though it was hopeless. Others tried to create political unions strong enough to resist Earth's influence. The galaxy had entered an age of suspicion. Inside Titan 1, Lauren watched all this news on the main display. He felt both pride and sadness. Pride for what humanity had achieved and sadness that it had brought so much fear. He turned to Suna and said, "We built these ships to stop wars, but now everyone prepares for war because of us." Suna answered, "Maybe peace was never something the galaxy understood. Maybe they need strength to believe in it." Her words stayed in his mind. As days passed, Lauren received new data from deep space probes. They had detected strange signals far beyond known territories. The signals were steady, rhythmic, and growing stronger. At first, he thought it was interference, but after several checks, he knew it was real. The signals came from beyond the galactic rim. He reported it to Admiral Rana. She studied the data carefully and said, "Keep monitoring. Do not share this with the Council yet. If something is out there, we must be ready before anyone else knows." Lauren agreed. The unknown signals became his obsession. Each day he studied their pattern, trying to decode them. They did not match any known language or transmission method, yet something about them felt intentional. It was as if someone or something was calling from the darkness. Meanwhile, Earth and its colonies continued to grow stronger. The Titans stayed on guard in neutral space, their massive forms glowing faintly against the stars. People across human worlds looked up at the sky with pride. The sight of the Titans gave them hope and safety. Children in schools learned about the engineers and builders who made the ships. Artists painted great murals of the Titans rising from hidden shipyards. Humanity had become united in purpose. Admiral Rana stood often on the command deck of Titan I, looking out into the void. She remembered the wars of the past when humans had been ignored and defeated. Now they were feared and respected. But she also felt the weight of responsibility. The Titans were not just weapons. They were symbols. The whole galaxy watched them. One wrong move could start another war. President Aaron understood this too. In a broadcast to all colonies, he said, "Let every star know that our strength exists to protect, not to dominate. Let fear fade and respect rise in its place. We have earned our safety through unity. We will keep it through wisdom." His message calmed many on Earth, but not everyone among the alien powers believed his words. Some still prepared for conflict. Others sent hidden fleets to watch human borders. Yet none dared to attack. The memory of Orion Reach remained too strong. As months turned into years, the Titans became silent guardians. They drifted between systems, watching and waiting. Inside Titan I, Lauren finally decoded part of the strange signals. The result made his heart beat faster. The signals were not random. They carried structure like language, but they were not human or alien. They came from something far beyond the known galaxy. Lauren shared his discovery with Admiral Rana. She listened and said, "If what you found is true, the galaxy is not ready, but we will be ready." Her words carried the same strength that built the Titans. The galaxy might fear humanity, but when the true danger came, only humans would stand prepared. As Titan I drifted quietly in the darkness, its engines hummed like a sleeping giant. The stars reflected on its metallic surface, making it look like a planet of light. Humanity's message was clear to the entire galaxy. They would not strike first, but they would never again be unprepared. The galaxy had entered a new age, one ruled not by fear alone, but by respect for the strength that humanity had built in silence.